Hey, Zach, thanks for doing this today. Sacks is the stats, the kind of the gaudy stat. You guys only had two sacks yesterday, but you had eight quarterback hits on Dak Prescott. You had four. Just talk about, yesterday's game and then in general, the importance of, when you don't get sacks. I mean, you guys get a lot of quarterback pressures and you do especially.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like you said, I mean, for there to be a sack, I mean, there's so many different things that have to go into it. All four guys have to, kind of keep him in the pocket. The coverage has to work. You know, hope they're running longer routes. So, yeah, I mean, give them a lot of credit. Dak, I think going into the game, we knew he was hard to sack because, he's really smart and their offensive line, I mean, they've invested a lot in it. It's a really good group. So, we were definitely happy with the pressure we got. Obviously, we want higher sack numbers, but kind of as we've shown, like, we'll get it all worked out. So we're not worried about getting pressure.
Arnie Stapleton, The Associated Press.
Hey, Zach. Last five quarters, your team's put up 77 points. And I'm wondering if when the offense is clicking like it has been, if there's a tangible effect when you go back out on defense. That was preceded by a whole bunch of three and outs the last few weeks ago. It seemed like maybe you guys might be getting tired, that sort of thing. Is that something that you physically feel when your offense is clicking as well as your defense?
Yeah, I think when the offense is out there and sustaining drives and getting points and stuff like that. It's awesome for the defense because, like you said, you get a little bit of a rest, but also too, when you're playing with the lead, the other team they got to kind of throw to get back in the game, and for us, we love pass rushing. So, yeah, anytime we can get out to a fast start, you could definitely ask the other, D linemen and outside backers. We love it. So it's, yeah, hopefully it continues.
Nick Cosmider, The Athletic.
Hey Zach, there was a play late in the second quarter. You guys were up by 10. I think Dallas had a second and one, and they run Javante and Malcolm sort of blows the play up. He's not the one that ends up in the tackle, but kind of pushes the run to the outside. And I'm just curious how much that's something that you guys see with him since he's been back. He might not always end with the stat, but how much has he impacted, your guys' run defense and just your unit up front overall?
Yeah, no, Roach is the best. I mean, yeah, I think you kind of can see how well we've been playing since he's got back. Huge part of it, especially in the run. But he definitely does have some pass rush ability, and yeah, I mean, he really takes a lot of pressure off of everybody else because we're so deep up front. So I think that's the cool thing this year is that myself and other guys haven't had to play as many snaps because Roach comes in and does such a great job and lets us kind of rush on third down. So, yeah, we really, Roach is, one of our most valuable pieces, and the fact we have him back healthy is huge.
Eric DeLalla, DenverBroncos.com.
Hey, Zach. Sean's record in October has been really good. I think you guys are 7-1 the last 2 years in October. What does he do specifically that you think you can point to of why you guys tend to hit your stride at this time of year? Any particular reasons you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's awesome at really kind of having a feel of what the guys need, whether it's they need a hey, we got to back off of them. They're tired, or we got to get them going. Let's get on top of them. Let's practice hard, coach them hard. So he's been awesome. All 3 years at really getting us prepared for games, and every single week, we feel like we go in really well prepared, both obviously mentally but especially physically. So yeah, we're really appreciative of that.
Andrew Mason, The Fan.
Yeah, Zach, you just mentioned not playing as many snaps the last few games with Malcolm out there. And I know Sean in the offseason mentioned specifically getting you and Nick Benito some more rest as a priority. So what, if any, difference are you noticing out there the last three games that you've had a chance to get a few more breathers in those games?
Yeah, I think, obviously, kind of maybe in some known rundowns, get them out there. But they've been, yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, we really pride ourselves at, on being a deep group on defense, especially at every single position. And yesterday was kind of a perfect example of that. Pat goes down, I go down for a little bit. Everybody knows that outside linebacker room, how well they rotate. So, um, you know, it's a really special defense, and everybody holds a standard and plays at a really high level.
Zach Stevens, DNVR.
Hey Zach, thanks for talking with us today. After you guys beat a one of the best offenses in the NFL, does that give you guys even more confidence? I know you're already a confident group, but does that give you even more fuel?
Yeah, I mean, we know as a group when we're focused on everything, and have a lot of attention to detail, and just play our style. We could play with anybody in the league. And that was the cool thing about yesterday is, obviously we now, we know what our standard is. Obviously it wasn't perfect yesterday, but still a lot to improve on. But the group here is, it's a really special group, and guys, they handle the prep really well. So that's been a fun part to be of. And yeah, we're just, getting ready for a really good Houston team now.
And we'll go last question, Luca Evans, the Denver Post.
Hey Zach, thanks for doing this. Sean was just talking about how he thought Vance did a really good job of kind of adjusting, coverages once Pat Surtain went down, but also, kind of maintaining some of the same things that you guys were doing once Chris went in there. Just, two-parter. How did you feel like you guys were able to adjust with Pat out? What did that change specifically, and what's the confidence in Chris if, Pat continues to miss time here?
Yeah, I mean, Chris is a stud. I mean, we saw it obviously at the end of last year, how well he played. And the whole country kind of saw it on that Chargers Thursday night with that interception. So, yeah, we have full faith in Chris. He practices, as well as anyone I've seen. So for a young guy, it's really impressive. And, yeah, like I said earlier, it's a really good group. So, and VJ, he does such a great job of putting us in great positions. So, we'll just play it by ear.
Awesome. Zach, thank you so much for joining us today.
All right. Thank you, guys.